Defrost control board for a heat pump. Identifying certain parts of a defrost control board in order to understand the holistic approach to a heating and air conditioning system, HVAC, whatever nomenclature one desires to use. It pays to understand what the parts and how the parts function and etc. So coming in with low voltage over here, previously we had identified the R for the red wire. So this is your power wire. Now, addressing the C wire is the common wire. So the red wire comes in, and maybe the HVAC gurus can help me out here. I believe the power comes out. Well, it's a common. I'm not sure if power goes out is the correct word, but red goes in. It needs to make a 360-degree loop there. For instance, coming off the transformer, say if it's a 240 by 24 volts, one normally would have a red and a common. If one thinks of this in high voltage, perhaps they can think of it in, say, a hypothetical, say a 120, and that's not extremely high, but it's high enough to, knock you in the elbow, or worse if you're grounded properly, or whatnot. But anyway, in the high voltage, we consider this neutral. Now, 240, there's two hots and then a neutral and then a ground. But on the 24 volts, let's just say common. And so the red comes in, and the red wire comes in 24 volts. Now, if one reads this, one caveat here, if you read this on your meter and it reads 26 to 27 volts, that's perfectly fine. So there's a variance there that's allowable between this. So don't get up in arms thinking, oh, wow, I'm not exactly on 24 volts. So if it reads 26, 27, plus or minus 28, perhaps you may be fine. But the common wire, the red comes in this direction. The common wire perhaps goes this direction. So this thing needs to make like a 360-degree loop, is a hypothetical, a fictitious analogy. And that's kind of what I tell people, electricity. I'm not an electrical engineer by no means. However, there's so many different theories and even debatable theories in electricity. But notwithstanding, this is the low voltage. The common comes here. So if you're running any particular unit, most of the time you're going to need the red and the common to run it. So for instance, you were running even a contactor, say hypothetically, if you're running a contactor, you're going to need the common here. So you'll need, say, the Y, or some people even use red, but the Y and the common on it to energize the high voltage. So just think of these two as needed. These two terminals here are very essential for the entire process to go through, and they need to make a full circle. They need to go all the way back. If one gets interrupted here, if one kind of gets interrupted here, it's not going to work. So kind of think of this as a different analogy. Well, I better refrain on that analogy, but notwithstanding, it's still in my mind. But anyway, let's think of it this way. Red coming in, common going out. You've made a perfect loop here. So then when it energizes something, say for instance over here, the reversing valve, okay, say we have a hot and a common, and see, even we have a common here on the reversing valve. So we'll need it up. Let's go up here, and let's say, I think this may be the contactor in the Y, or the Y1, and this would go out, okay, on this. but as one knows, this may be the common on the contactor. I'm not certain on this nomenclature, but as we see here, we have a Y, which Y would be hot. When the red jumpered over to Y and energized this, the effectively the Y would be hot, and then the common would be common, and this would energize the contactor, which would give you high voltage, which in turn could power up the fan or something, because it says here that the fan is danger, high voltage. So this is high voltage, this is low voltage. So this is the common on a defrost board for a heat pump. Now, question is, where do you have a defrost control board in a gas furnace? And most of the time, I'm not certain, I hesitate to say all of the time, but most of the time there is no defrost board on the control board. But now they're coming out with these dual fuel units and different other types of units. So it's hard to extrapolate that data there. But anyway, we need a red and a common, red wire, and common is normally people use it as blue, but you could use any color you want to if your blue wire gets cracked. But my opinion is it's better to keep it color coded. This way you know what's what and what's not. And this is a defrost control board for a heat pump. Thank you for watching.